And so that would have to be, when you say the hardest season, was when my son, well, they both went away and kind of lost their minds for a minute. But when he left to go to Australia, at the time, he just wanted to get away, you know, and I knew he was running from us and God, but I didn't know he was in such a bad shape. You know, he was in the shape that he was in until later. But he said he was going and he was grown. There was nothing I could do. And my husband looked at me and said, CeCe, he's going to be fine. You know, we got to trust God. So I was like, okay. So I'm praying every day, Lord, just bring my son home. Just bring him home. And he told me later on that on the plane, he told God, whoever gets me first, you're the enemy. That's the way I'm going. Wow. I had no idea he was even in a place like that. And God, in all of his goodness. Amen. When he landed in Australia, Melbourne, Australia, a friend of his was going to a Bible study there. My son didn't want to go, but this was the friend who was picking him up, and he was going to see if he was going to live there and all of that stuff. And so he called his dad and was like, Wally is going to this disciple ministry school. He wants me to go with him. Should I go? And his father was like, well, go. If you don't want to stay, you can just leave. And he went into this small little church, and God just, oh my God, God just changed his life completely. Wow. And that changed my life completely because God reminded me in his loving way, CeCe, I did this for your son and you were nowhere around. Wow. He was on the other side of the world. So it lets me know that the God we serve really is everywhere. And if we just keep praying and believing, God will reach your children no matter how far they are. You know, no matter how far they are in the spirit or in the natural, God is there. So be encouraged and keep praying and keep believing. But when God changed his life, he called me and was like, God is so good. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've been telling you that all your life, but okay, yes. And then the next call, every call was more in depth with his love for Christ. And then he just got on fire for God, and he began to witness to his friends. And because of his transformation, the church that we pastor now was birthed out of that.
Complete redemption story.
Complete redemption. And it was nobody but God. I can't take any credit for that. You know what I'm saying? It's just how good he is. When we get out of the way and trust him, he shows up and he does things that we could never do.
Yes, he does. Amen.
Amen.